By now, most people know we have a new national holiday, Juneteenth. Now, Juneteenth allows us, I'm talking all Americans, to acknowledge the past while freeing us up all to look ahead. This was made possible by the wisdom of the framers of the Constitution when they crafted that document that would allow a new nation to overcome the largest hurdles and obstacles toward a just and prosperous society. I'm talking about human impulses. These impulses can often lead to inhumane treatment of others, which could become normalized and then persist for far too long. In such cases, change is not easy, especially for the people who are in control. It was heartbreaking that it took 2.5 years for those enslaved in Galveston, Texas, to learn that they had already been freed. By the same token, the effort to make sure that they got the news and they got their freedom in the first place speaks to the driving undercurrent in American history to keep marching toward what is right, to keep marching toward a more perfect union. Now, it's sad to see that this day is already being politicized or deliberately misconstrued even before the ink is dried. Nobody is confusing this with July 4th, Independence Day. And its creation belies the constant screams that this nation does not admit to its past, the good and the bad. I personally prefer to dwell on the fact that it happened at all. I prefer to dwell on the fact that in this country we have fought and beaten the worst in human nature. Those human impulses, they never go away for any nation or any culture, and yet in America they have been pushed further into the abyss and far from ever becoming normalized ever again. Now, history allows us the opportunity to learn from the past, and by the same token, it frees us to empower us to continue the lineage of maturation while carving out our own personal history. Now, we can never rewrite the past, and I don't think we should even start trying to rewrite the past. Now, when I think of Juneteenth, I can see the faces of those enslaved people weeping tears of joy. You know, I really doubt they spent a lot of time lamenting on how long it took to learn of the news or even the plight of their bondage. I believe that they moved very quickly to embrace their new lives. And I think we today should take their cue. When I think of Juneteenth, I also think of my mother. Born and raised in Uniontown, Alabama, she saw and lived through things that no longer happen in America. She was never bitter, and she hid the pain of her life the best she could, although she would cry on Sundays while she was listening to Mahalia Jackson or other gospel greats. She raised us to seize the future and to not be chained to the past, not to allow the bondage of yesteryear to stall our own potential, our own opportunities. When I think of Juneteenth, I think of freedom. I think of America moving forward. I think of the greatness of people that endured the harshest of human treatment to see their children enjoy those certain unalienable rights endowed by their Creator. Juneteenth is a good thing for all Americans, so let's all go out and seize the day. We'll be right back.